You're back. Yeah, thank you for talking to me today. Obviously, as it's Men's Health Week next week, I just really wanted to chat to you about obviously mental health and like your experiences with like mental health and well-being.
Yeah, yeah, cool.
So, what areas of your life does your mental health impact upon?
Um, so my mental health like impacts upon all areas of my life, I'd say, like relationships and even to like exercise and so because I take medication and the
Yeah.
medication that I take sometimes makes me really tired and can make me kind of demotivated.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, so like even like things like exercise sometimes. But yeah, basically, I find that it does impact on pretty much all areas, but I try and not to like it used to really get me down and used to really affect me, but now I think I'm in a better place. Even though obviously I still struggle with my mental health, I'm in a better place in terms of well, I think the point is like I'm open about it. I don't shy away from it. Like when I do struggle with when it does impact an area of my life, like I don't shy away from it. I talk to my therapist about it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Or I talk to a friend about it. I don't try and push it away like I used to, and I think that makes a difference.
Yeah, definitely. It's so important to talk about it. So, how easy would you say was it for you to access like mental health support? And being a man, did you find that impacted like the accessibility of mental health and asking for help?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I started struggling with my mental health in my mid-teens, and yeah, because I was a guy, I was like, this isn't. I've just got to get on with this. I've just got to like
Yeah,
just try and like not to. I don't want people to know. I don't want it to show. I just need to just somehow like deal with it on my own. That was my thing. And I did. I went to ask for help. I went to my GP a few times actually on my own in secret because I was just like, yeah, I did. I definitely didn't want my family to know, particularly, and my friends, I'd say. But yeah,
mhm,
I think I struggled like to fight to get the help that I needed because I was embarrassed and I felt weak. Like I struggled with like long waiting lists for therapy and don't know, doctors not taking it seriously enough, I
yeah, I
think.
completely understand that.
Yeah, but I didn't, I didn't fight because, yeah, as I said, I didn't feel I was sort of, I don't know, I didn't feel strong enough to sort of fight. I didn't have the sort of courage to fight back or the confidence. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. So you say that you felt embarrassed, which is completely understandable. There's such a stigma around men and mental health. How do you suggest that we would like reduce the stigma of men not wanting to ask for help?
Well, see, I think we need to get in there really young. I've got a mental health charity that I started called Beyond, which is all about getting to young people early on. Because if I'd have got something in school, like I didn't get anything when I was in school. It's just like one person would have come in and like been vulnerable and honest and open. I think it would have made a big difference, but we had nothing like that. So yeah, for me, it's all about getting to young people, particularly young boys, like really early on. You know,
Mm,
from a, I remember when I was like, when I was really small, I was very like sensitive and I would cry a lot. But then when I got to, I don't know, like 7, 8, I like people started to say, come on, you're a big boy, don't cry so much. You don't need to cry. And
mm.
so I started to feel really, yeah, sort of embarrassed, and I felt like I couldn't be vulnerable anymore. So I think if we can get to young boys from like, yeah, really really young, and just say it's okay if you struggle and if you feel emotional, and you need to talk about it. I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, preventative rather than
Yeah,
reactionary, 100%.
100%.
So you mentioned your therapist, so I'm assuming that you've used talking therapies in your mental health journey.
Yeah.
How was your experience of finding a therapist that you felt comfortable with?
Yeah, it's taken me a while, I think, to find. I'm with a therapist at the moment, who I see every week online at the moment, and that's okay. It took a bit of getting used to, but yeah, I think it took a while to find like a therapist that I felt really comfortable with. I think, and that's okay. Like, it can be really like it can feel really defeating. Like, if you start seeing someone and you just feel like it's not working and you can't be open, and then you have to try and find someone else and go through your whole story again. But it's worth it when you finally find that therapist who you can be like open with and honest with. And yeah, it definitely took me a while to get there, for sure,
Yeah.
but it was worth it.
And you mentioned that online sessions, they took you a little while to get used to, but of course, we're living in a COVID changing society where Zoom is taking the place of a lot of face-to-face interactions. How do you feel this impacts on therapy? Obviously, the lack of like the physical connection at the moment, having to do it all online.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, yeah, it's hard. I mean, nothing beats like the face to face, being there in person in a room with someone. The technology is good. I mean, at least we've got the technology, I guess. It's better than nothing. But yeah, nothing quite for me, nothing quite is the same as that, being there, like present with that person, and being able to like body language, and I don't know, just
Well, like
yeah.
we had earlier, like with the Wi-Fi not quite connecting, and like I
Mhm.
couldn't see your face properly, like things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
And would you say the room environment as well? Because obviously you want somewhere that you feel comfortable. If something's clinical, you might not want to open up. So somewhere that you feel comfortable, is that important for you?
yeah. Somewhere that you feel really settled, really comfortable, really able to open up, I think is so crucial. I mean, I've had I've had different types of therapy, like being in the NHS, and being in sort of like really, I don't know, small clinical like kind of rooms where it's quite like sterile, and it just doesn't, I don't know, just doesn't kind of help. But when you're in a room where obviously you feel just really at ease and comfortable, and like there's space, and it's yeah, it really does make a difference. I think it really does make a difference to how like comfortable you feel to sit there and open up, for sure.
Yeah, of course. So as well, at our room in town, we wanted to make it as easy as possible for people to access mental health because we know it's hard for people to admit they want help. So we've developed like an online booking system which makes it accessible and discreet. What's your views on something like? Would you have used something like that? Would that have helped you ask for help if you could just go online?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because I think I always found it, and I still find it quite hard to go to my doctor and be like, I'm struggling. It's easier than it was, but yeah, I just struggled with the embarrassment of having to, yeah, go and like sit there and say to my doctor, I need help. But something online where you can just kind of, yeah, access easily, it makes such a difference. Anything to get rid of that sort of embarrassment and that shame, and especially if it's going to put people off actually asking for help in the first place. If there's anything that
Yeah,
could like, yeah, alleviate that, then it's worth it.
yeah. And
Um,
then what's your vision and end goal for like mental health support and mental health services?
well, I mean, I'd love to see a society where everyone gets like good mental health support in a sort of timely way, so people don't have to wait and struggle to access services. We all know what the situation is, and the waiting times, and the kind of the thresholds for help and support, whether you're a young person or an older person. There's so much that needs to change. And I speak to so many people, and I speak to a lot of families who just say the same thing. Like, I can't get support for my son, daughter, husband, wife. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing
Yeah.
over and over again. And I'd love to live in a society where people will say, oh yeah, I got really quick access. Like saying, like if you had a physical health issue, hopefully you'd get quick access to support. And I'd love to live in a society where people can say the same about mental health. There's no waiting and delays, and you see someone and it's good, it works.
Yeah, 100%. So then I guess I would finish it on, I'd say, since 2008, have you seen a change in society's like attitude to mental health?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, massive change. Just in the last like 2-3 years, I think like the pandemic has shifted the dialogue on mental health for sure.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, which is good. It shouldn't have had to take a pandemic for the situation to change. But yeah, I mean, people are talking about mental health more than ever before, and that's great. But we're still a long way. We still got a long way to go, haven't we? A long way to go. Still a lot of stigma. It's still really hard for a lot of men, to really be honest and open and actually ask for help in the first place. So I think we're on the right sort of steps, but yeah, there's still and we're like in the UK, I think we are actually further ahead than a lot of other places around the world. Like there's some places, like I did some work in India, and wow, they're so far behind, like in terms of mental health progress.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to do. There's a long way to go, but I guess at least we're moving forwards, I think.
Yeah, just keep the conversations open, encouraging people to talk about it. And I signed a petition the other day for something called it's like the youth mental health hubs, because like you said, it's important for the preventative rather than the reactionary. Like I'm a big believer in that.
100%. Yeah, for sure. And we'll get there.
Yeah, well, I hope so. But thank you for talking to me. It was really, really nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Anything I can do, just let me know. Yeah.